Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Max King after his win and record-setting performance at the 2014 IAU 100k World Championships. Max, what a day out there.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was night, actually.
Night, yes.
Yeah, it was all night because I never did go to sleep after that. And so I'm exhausted now.
So it's kind of like a finish line interview. It's just delayed by 12 hours.
Yep, exactly.
Don't worry, I haven't slept either.
Okay, good.
So, you ran with a big pack of people for a good portion of the race. Were you just biding your time, or are you just like trying to like not use mental energy? What was the deal with running with that group?
Well, it was, you don't want to run a race like that all by yourself the whole way.
Yeah.
And so, running with that pack of guys was great to kind of pace off of them. We were actually going at a pretty, it was reasonable, but it was pretty quick clip, you know, and we were pushing pretty good, but I was really comfortable and everything, and I think everybody else was too at the time. I think, you know, the course and the pounding of the ground out here got to most of the people. I think that's what kind of started bringing people back. But and then it was right around 50k where it kind of put a surge in, and I didn't really mean to.
So you were the one who broke the pack up.
Yeah, well, it was kind of starting to break up with about a lap to go before 50k, and then right about 50k is like where I kind of got a break, and at that point it was kind of like trying to go after the guy that was in front, Vasily, and it just happened that it kind of broke things up. I didn't really mean to. I thought people would kind of go with me, and I surged by like 3 to 5 seconds on the lap, so it wasn't like a huge surge, but it seemed to just break things up, and then I just stayed out after that, and I noticed that after like each lap I would put just a couple seconds on the Spanish guys, and then pretty soon, you know, we were halfway through, or like 3/4 of the way through the race, and then they really started to drop back, and at that point obviously it's like then you got to go. So then I was just trying to hang on and run kind of scared and make sure that I didn't get caught.
So let's walk back to your catching Vasily Larkin, the Russian leader. You caught him very quickly. Was that a matter of you surging pretty hard, or a combination of you surging and him kind of going out a little quick?
Mostly he was coming back. Yeah. We were at that point, so right at the beginning we were hitting like right on like 1910 laps, and then we started hitting like 1920, and talking to Steve, the British guy, he wanted to kind of hit like 1930. So we were a little bit quick for what he wanted to do originally, but everything was pretty comfortable, so we all kind of stayed in that little pack. Vasily and a couple of other guys really just surged out front. I think one of the guys had a bathroom break and came back, and so Vasily was out front at halfway, and at that point it was like, then I dropped it back down to about a 1910 lap, so I didn't surge very much. It wasn't a lot, and then but Vasily was starting to come back at that point. And that's how I caught him. He must have started adding on about 20 seconds a lap or more to his time, and started really kind of slowing down.
Yeah, because when you moved up that rather quickly relative to the rest of the field around you, you looked really comfortable and in control.
And my lap time wasn't any faster than it had been. It was about 10 seconds faster, so it wasn't like a huge difference. Like I made a 30-second jump. I didn't do that at all.
So you move into the lead, and this is not your first time at a World Championship event. You've run cross-country worlds.
Cross-country worlds, road running worlds.
Yeah.
Mountain running worlds.
And you've been in the lead at World Mountain Running Championships, but that's a short race.
Yeah.
Here, you're out in the lead, and you've still got 30K to go? You still got
like 50K to go.
You got a lot of time. You've got 3.5.
Don't remind me.
You're like 3 hours to
I was like so like mentally stressed. I was like, oh god, I got 50. I still have 30 miles to go around this stupid loop. I was like, God, no. Yeah.
So what was more taxing, the fact that you had 10 more 5K laps to go, or the fact that you were like leading? Because you don't know you can find out sort of what's going on behind you, but
yeah, and this course is good for that, because you could see like several different places where like how far in front you were, which was a little bit mentally, it was a little bit easier. But I really do well being chased anyway, naturally. I do well running scared in whatever I'm running, And so like, so that kind of helps, like just running scared. But the fact that you have to run scared for 30 miles makes it a lot harder. And I mean, I started counting down with 10 laps to go. The only thing I was thinking at that point is just get through this lap. And when I get to 3 laps left to go, it's going to be so nice. And then it was like 9 laps, 8 laps. And then, they're 20-minute laps, so you're out there for a while, and you come through.
And you're thinking, how many times are you thinking 8 laps in 1 lap?
A lot. And things are just like moving so slow. And it's just, it's 100k on a road and just a 5k loop course. It's boring. It's really boring. How many times did I say that to you? I'm bored. And,
a number of times.
Yeah, it's just boring and monotonous and everything else. And I mean, you're racing, but it's hard to really keep your focus in a race like this where you're out there for so long. You don't want to focus that long because you can't. It's mind-numbing and really mentally challenging.
And it must be strange because you're leading a race, but you're lapping people of all sorts of different laps, and you're lapping teammates and the women's team and.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool, just getting to see people several times and stuff like that. And that, in a course like this is wide enough, you never really have to worry about really running into people, except for the one woman who was kind of weaving. I passed her like twice, and she weaved right in front of me both times. I'm like, seriously, stop weaving!
Straight lines.
Straight lines!
You don't need to run 112K.
No, she was like seriously weaving back and forth across the course. But no, I mean, otherwise it really, that part of it wasn't too bad or anything. And you get to see some other people and stuff like that.
So, going into the race, did you know what the North American or U.S. records were on the roads?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know North American. I knew American was 6:30. Somebody had said it before the race. So, going into the race, yeah, I knew that. And then we got through halfway at 3:12. And I was like, well, I won't worry about it right now, but in like the last 3 laps or so, I'll see how I'm doing and maybe start thinking about it. Because I mean, like I was talking to Zach, and he's like, well, if you're running the race and you add on, if you positive split by 10 minutes, that's pretty good. And so I figured, well, I mean, like I've got that kind of a barrier there, or roughly that, so maybe I can do it. But I wasn't, I didn't want to think about it at like 50k. But as I got closer and stuff, with 3 laps left to go, and I was still kind of hanging on, slowing down a bit, but still kind of able to get about a 6:30 mile or so. I was losing time on that record, but I was like, well, I've still got a big enough cushion to where if I hold this pace, then it'd be okay. So.
Yeah, like the 3rd lap to go, you were a little bit slower, and that cushion, if you were extrapolating it out, very quickly evaporated.
It does. It gets close, and
because you lose a minute a lap, and
all of a sudden it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, right. So I was hanging on. I was losing. I was like kind of hemorrhaging some time here and there, and just making sure that I wasn't losing too much.
So that you were thinking about that. So it gave you maybe something new to focus on those last laps?
Yeah, it just kind of gave me some motivation to kind of really kind of stay on it and keep going. And I knew the Spanish guys were right back there. And
there's this guy, Jonas Boot.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really think much of him, actually. And because he was back at least probably 4th or 5th during the race, and I never saw him after about 50k again, because he had dropped off significantly from the 2 Spanish guys that were right behind me. So I didn't really think about him much until the last lap, when I came around the out and back on the road, and Wardian was like, Jonas is right ahead of me. And I'm like, holy crap, no. I've got like half a lap left to go, and like that means he made a significant amount of time in those last like couple of laps, where he went from like me not being able to see him at all to like 3 minutes in back of me, and like we're passing on the out and back, and so I'm like getting a little scared, and that got me going on the last, like I had 2k left to go, so I wasn't too worried, but it got me going, and it kind of lit a fire in my butt.
He's a guy that has experience.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's good, and he's like everybody says he's always 2nd place. I don't know how many times, so I feel bad.
This is his 4th time at World 100K.
Yeah,
not to mention comrades in UTMB.
I feel kind of bad for that, but yeah.
Not too bad. What did it feel crossing the line? What is the first thing that popped in your mind as you break that tape?
It was so nice to be done. So nice to be done. That was the only thing I could think about the last couple of laps. It's like, it's going to be so nice to be done. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was a pretty amazing experience. I mean, this is my second like IAAF World Championship title, and to be, to go from mountain running to 100k, that's pretty cool. And I mean, I was really happy to do that, and really lucky, and feel blessed that have all the support I do, and from everybody, and just to be able to to do it.
There's a lot of chatter online after the race. Like, is there a more diversely accomplished runner?
I don't know. So
that's pretty spectacular range. Because the year you ran world or won the mountain running title, what was the distance?
It's 12k.
12k.
Yeah, it's 12k.
So 12k trail, 100k road.
Yeah, close, right?
Vaguely, in that they're running.
Yeah.
Where do you find the next challenge?
Oh, there's always another challenge out there. The next race I do will be another challenge. So, I don't know. I might jump back on the roads next year. I want to do. I'm doing Comrades next May, and then leading up to that, I want to do probably the LA Marathon is the plan, and try and jump back on the roads. And well, I am on the roads here, but it'll be shorter roads.
So, if you're doing Comrades, does that mean thinking about states or Western states or?
No, unfortunately, states is not in the cards next year. It was kind of tough to give up that spot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not too worried about that. I can always get that back, but it's just to be back there and to try to do a little bit better. I know that I can run that race a little bit smarter and a little bit better. But
I mean, it was your 100-mile debut.
Yeah. But right now, I'm not ready for another 100-miler, mentally or really physically, and so I got to work on that a little bit, and maybe come back in a year or two and see what I can do there. But I want to do Comrades. I think Comrades and then Western, I think that would actually be doable, but I do want to run mountain running championships next year too.
And when is that?
It'll be July 25th in
so,
Bend.
I know it's only 12 hours later, but could you see yourself running 100k on the roads again?
No, not right now. Oh, I can't even walk. You're lucky I'm sitting down here.
It was a little laborious.
Yeah.
The process.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Comrades isn't too dissimilar, but I think having a 54 miler on the road with a point to point is going to be so much mentally easier that it's not even going to be anywhere close to the same. So thinking about doing this again next year in the Netherlands. I mean, I've heard that the Netherlands is a much better course as far as speed goes. It's faster. I don't know. I got to decide.
You've got some time.
I got a little bit of time.
Amazing job out there. The team aspect. I mean, mid-race, you guys were looking strong, but then sort of some Americans faded.
Yeah.
But hung in there.
Yeah.
You could see your teammates.
Yeah, they did awesome at hanging in there, and I knew, we were moving pretty good. The three of us, me, Zach Miller, and Nick Ricardo, we were all moving pretty good, and just hoping that they could kind of maintain and stay in there. And Zach did a great job hanging in there and maintaining. And then Zach Bitter came up from behind, which I knew he would. I knew we'd see him again later. And he came up from behind and managed to get in there for our second man, which was awesome. So yeah, it's unbelievable. It was, that's cool. And that's part of the fun about these is that team aspect and stuff. I like that. And it makes everybody kind of work a little bit harder because they know that your teammates are relying on you to be up there and to do your best too.
I mean, did you think about that during the race at all?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, definitely, and making sure that I wasn't going to fade, and making sure that seeing where my teammates were and how we were doing compared to the Spaniard guys and the Italians and stuff like that, and then letting them know that because Giorgio, the Italian guy who's won last time, yeah, he dropped. Well, he didn't drop out, but he was walking. I laughed him a couple times, and so just letting teammates know that he's out. So Italy's, we've got Italy. We've got to make sure that we get Spain and stuff like that.
So unlike cross country, it's time based. So even if you slow down 10 seconds or 20 seconds or 30 seconds, even if you win.
Yeah, then everybody else has to be pretty close. Yeah, and making sure that that's why as somebody on the team, you know that your teammates are relying on you, so you got to get get going. Even if you don't lose any places in the last couple of laps or anything, you got to make sure you're not like losing that much time too.
Yeah.
So
you won double gold, as did your Montreal teammate Ellie.
yeah. No, Ellie had a phenomenal performance. So good on her. And man, that British team, the women were amazing. They went, what did they go? 1, 3, and 4. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
So is Ellie a good luck charm? I mean, you come here, you win this, you won UROC the same year.
We were talking
Chuck
about
that. Who's good luck charm?
Well, I don't know. Did we do Chuck Nut? I think we did
This
Chuck
year.
Nut. Yeah, I guess we did. And then UROC, and then JFK as well.
Oh yeah.
JFK was like the same scenario. Like I got a course record, and so did she that year too. So it was, I don't know.
Comrades next year. It's a good year to pick.
I know. So yeah, we're. I don't know. Maybe we're. I don't know. Synergistic.